Minister, I'd like to wish you a happy Christmas in kind of this period. Minister, I want to start off with a very positive note, because I think we need to be positive in relation to this ongoing pandemic, and hospitalisations and ICU figures in Ireland have essentially plateaued, or in some cases the ICU has gone down. That's a very, very good indication what direction this pandemic is going. So far, so good, but there is obviously serious kind of dark clouds on the horizon, and I think them clouds, you only have to look in Britain at the moment. I mean, the cases are going through the roof, and Britain are probably 2 to 3 weeks ahead of where we are in relation to their booster campaign, their vaccine rollout, where they are. So the indications are that, you know, we could be facing extremely difficult 4 to 6 weeks in relation to the amount of infections. Hopefully that does not translate then into hospitalisations and ICU, because if it does, then I think we have a different scenario on our hands. And I think the booster campaign has been very successful. I think it's, you know, people queuing for 4 to 5 hours is just not conducive to the spirit that we had before, you know, because people just won't go. So I think that needs to be ironed out and so forth. And the ongoing public health emergency has been extremely challenging. I mean, this is like something we've never ever seen before in our public health services. I know we all have friends that work in hospitals, and it's beyond traumatic in relation to the environment that they have to work in. But you know, we've said this before. We hold absolute gratitude to those that are kind of protecting us and our loved ones. And there are signs, and there is signs, that the ascendancy of the Omicron is outpopulating the Delta, and you know it seems to be much more infectious and so forth. So, Minister, just two things, and the criticisms is two issues. One is in relation to, and this is not in the abstract, I say this in the kind of the hearing now, is in relation to the TRIPS waiver, right? The TRIPS waiver is a mechanism that gives equity to those that can't get access to vaccines. Now, the European Union blocking that is literally shameful. You know, if you can't do it now, when can you do it? And Italy and Portugal have, you know, unilaterally said, look, we support the waiving the TRIPS waiver, but Ireland hasn't. Now, if I was a conspiracy theorist, I would start saying, why is that the case? Is it the case because there's so many multinationals, pharmaceutical companies in this country? You know, that's a question I'd like to maybe answer. And I think even the Seanad yesterday, they passed a motion in relation to the TRIPS waiver. So I think Ireland has to step up to the plate and say, look, we stand with countries across the world that needs access to this. And just the final thing in relation to ventilation. And I think it's welcome that the government have given 62 million in relation to improvements in that. But they've come late to the table, I'll be honest with you. This should have been done over a year ago in relation to ventilation. You know, ventilation and kind of and HEPA filters is, I mean, it's proven that these are, you know, really, really good in relation to circulation and so forth. So, look, Minister, this is not easy by any means, right? Regardless of who you are, what political colour you are, regardless of what government you're in, there are very, very huge difficulties. But look, we wish everybody that's in the health service the best. Thanks.